LET top terrorist Umar Mustaq Khande trapped in Pampore encounter. He's among the top 10 targets of Jammu and Kashmir police who was involved in killing of 2 police personnel. Encounter underway in Drangbal area of Pampore. In another encounter in Bemina area, security forces neutralized killer of martyr PSI Arshid. Union Home Minister Amit Shah on a 3-day visit to Andaman and Nicobar Islands to lay foundation stones of several development projects, to conduct aerial survey of Shahid Dweep eco-tourism project, Swaraj Dweep water airport and other development projects. At least 35 killed and many wounded in a suicide bomb blast at Afghanistan's Kunduz mosque. UNSC condemns. In the strongest term, the terrorist attack underlines the need to hold accountable the perpetrators, organizers, financiers and sponsors of terrorism. In cricket, Chennai Super Kings beat Kolkata Knight Riders by 27 runs to win its 4th IPL title in Dubai. Faf du Plessis wins the Man of the Match award for smashing a knock of 86 in 59 balls for Chennai Super Kings. In football, 7-time champions India will take on Nepal in the final of South Asian Football Federation Championship in Mole, Maldives today. India on Wednesday defeats Maldives 3-1 to book their spot in the summit clash. Good morning, you're watching DD India and I'm Preeti presenting this edition of the news. Our top story first. In Jammu and Kashmir, the security forces have trapped the top LET terrorist Umar Mustaq Khande in Pampore encounter. He is one of the top 10 targets of Jammu and Kashmir police who was involved in the killing of 2 police personnel at Baghpat, Srinagar and 2 other crimes. Also, an encounter between security forces and terrorists broke out in Drangbal area of Pampore in Pulwama district in the wee hours. Taking to Twitter, the IGP Kashmir has once again reiterated his appeal to all misguided youth who have joined terror folds to shun the path of violence and return to mainstream. He also said that police is committed to accept them with open arms as society needs them the most, especially their parents. In Srinagar, a terrorist identified as the killer of newly recruited Sub-Inspector Arshid Ahmed Mir, who lost his life in the terror attack in Srinagar on Sunday, was killed in an encounter with security forces in Bemina area of Jammu and Kashmir's Srinagar on Friday. According to Kashmir Zone Police, killer of martyr Police Sub-Inspector Arshid has been killed in Bemina encounter, and on Sunday afternoon, terrorists attacked a police party at Khanyar in Old Srinagar city, where martyr PSI Arshid Mir was shot by terrorists in Khanyar and later he succumbed to his injuries. According to Jammu and Kashmir police, yesterday terrorists Shahid and Tanzil of Srinagar city, who were collaborators in the recent civilian killings of civilians, that is 1 chemist and 2 teachers in Srinagar, have been neutralized in 2 anti-terrorist operations. Ministry of Women and Child Development has registered objection to the Global Hunger Report 2021 by Concern Worldwide and Wealth Hunger Health. Also, the ministry has said that it is shocking to find that Global Hunger Report 2021 has lowered the rank of India. The publishing agencies of the Global Hunger Report have not done their due diligence before releasing the report. The methodology used by FAO is unscientific. The report completely disregards government's efforts to ensure food security of the entire population during the COVID period. It is also noted with surprise from the FAO report, the State of Food Security and Nutrition in the World 2021, that the other 4 countries of this region, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Nepal and Sri Lanka, have not been affected at all by COVID pandemic, and which induced loss of jobs and businesses and also reduction in income levels. The Global Hunger Report 2021 and FAO report on the state of food security and nutrition in the world 2021 have completely ignored the following facts. Now, the facts are, as part of the economic response to COVID-19, the Government of India has implemented additional nationwide schemes such as Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Ann Yojana and Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme. Manrega wages were increased by ₹20 with effect from 1st of April to provide an additional 2,000 rupees of benefit annually to a worker to benefit approximately 13.62 crore families. Also, a total of 20.4 crore Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana women account holders were given ex gratia of Rs 500 per month for 3 months, that is April to July last year. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman met World Bank Group President David Malpass at World Bank headquarters in Washington, D.C. on Friday. Both the sides discussed various issues including COVID vaccination, economic recovery, preparations for COP26, initiative of WBG for increasing lending space for India, IDA 20 replenishment, knowledge partnership with World Bank. Finance Minister shared the measures being taken by India to contain the spread of second wave of COVID pandemic, including major role played by India on the global COVID effort. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman appreciated the WBG for their initiatives for increasing lending space for India to enhance availability of finance for development. Also, she mentioned that the focus should be on technologies that need to be moved from lab to field and those that require targeted global research in pursuit of low carbon growth. She highlighted 3 broad suggestions, that is including strengthening Lighthouse India, technology and special focus on financial sector reforms and infrastructure sector to strengthen the knowledge partnership with WBG. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman on Friday met Director General of WTO in the US amidst India's proposal for a temporary waiver of intellectual property rights on COVID vaccines and also medicines worldwide. The meeting between Sitharaman and Ariela took place on the sidelines of World Bank and IMF annual meetings. Also, the meeting assumed significance as India, along with South Africa, has been pushing for a temporary waiver of intellectual property rights on COVID-19 vaccines and also medicines globally. India in June suggested to the World Trade Organization and its members to begin text-based negotiations on the temporary TRIP's waiver proposal to deal with COVID pandemic. Union Home Minister Amit Shah, who is on a 3-day visit to Andaman and Nicobar Islands, will launch and lay foundation stones of several development projects today. Amit Shah will also conduct aerial survey of Shahid Dweep Eco-Tourism Project, Swaraj Dweep Water Airport and other development projects. Thereafter, he will visit Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose Island. He will inaugurate and lay foundation stones for various developmental projects. Earlier yesterday, the Union Home Minister reached Cellular Jail in Port Blair and visited the cell number 52, where freedom fighter Vinayak Damodar Savarkar was lodged for 10 long years. He described Savarkar as a source of inspiration for the nation. The Home Minister also slammed those who questioned Savarkar's contribution.
During the Amrit Mahotsav celebration marking the 75th year of independence, the grateful nation is remembering the sacrifice and spirit of all freedom fighters. In this series, Union Home Minister Amit Shah reached the Cellular Jail in Port Blair and paid tribute to the freedom fighters.
अंग्रेजों ने बनाई हुई सेल्युलर जेल सबसे बड़ा तीर्थ स्थान है और इसीलिए सावरकर जी कहते थे ये तीर्थों के अंदर महातीर्थ है जहां पर आजादी की ज्योति को प्रज्वलित करने के लिए अनेक हुतात्माओं ने अपना बलिदान दिया.
The Cellular Jail and its 698 cells were synonymous with the British atrocities and cruelty when it began to lodge prisoners at that time. Vinayak Damodar Savarkar was sentenced and lodged in the same jail. In the year 1910, he was arrested for the murder of the collector of Nasik and sentenced to Kala Pani. He was brought to Port Blair on 11th July 1911 and moved to Cellular Jail cell number 52. Union Home Minister said that Savarkar was a hero and scholar. He described Savarkar as a source of inspiration for the nation. He also paid an emotional tribute to Savarkar, reaching the historic cell where he spent nearly 10 long years of rigorous imprisonment. The Home Minister also slammed those who questioned Savarkar's contribution.
वीर सावरकर को वीर की उपाधि कोई सरकार ने नहीं दी, कोई प्रशासन ने नहीं दी. 130 करोड़ की जनता ने मन से सावरकर जी के आगे वीर शब्द को जोड़ा है. वो उनके पराक्रम और उनकी देशभक्ति को एक्नॉलेज करने के, अनुमोदन करने के लिए जोड़ा है. आज कुछ लोग सावरकर जी के जीवन पर सवाल उठा रहे हैं। बड़ा दुख होता है, दर्द होता है, वेदना होती है कि जिस व्यक्ति को एक ही जीवन में 2 जन्म टिप की सजा हुई, उस व्यक्ति की देशभक्ति पर आप सवाल उठा रहे हैं। जिस व्यक्ति ने कई किलोमीटर दूर स्टीमर से छलांग लगाकर भारत के लिए लड़ने का फैसला किया, फ्रांस की धरती पर जाने का फैसला किया, उस व्यक्ति की वीरता पर आप प्रश्न चिन्ह उठा रहे हैं। जो कोल्लू का बेल बनकर 30 पाउंड तेल निकालने की सजा झेलता रहा, उस व्यक्ति की देशभक्ति पर आप सवाल उठा रहे हैं। अरे शर्म करो भाई, एक बार यहां आकर ये तीर्थ स्थान की मुलाकात ले लो तो मन में से सारी शंकाओं का निर्मूलन हो।
The Union Home Minister also paid tribute to freedom fighter Sachendra Sanyal and said that Sanyal was the only Indian who was twice punished to Kala Pani. He urged the youth to play their important role in making a new India. Bureau Report, DD India.
In Afghanistan, suicide bombers attacked a Shiite mosque in Kandahar during Friday prayers, killing at least 35 people and injuring scores more. The assault came just a week after a suicide attack on Shiite worshippers at a mosque in the northern city of Kunduz. There was no immediate claim of responsibility for Friday's attack in Kandahar, but Islamic State claimed the Kunduz attacks. Meanwhile, Taliban spokesman Zabihullah Mujahid said that security forces had been ordered to capture the perpetrators and bring them to justice under Islamic law. Taliban special forces have also secured the site and have asked people to donate blood to help the victims. Highlighting the continuity of terrorism in Afghanistan, the United Nations has condemned the latest deadly suicide bombing during Friday prayers at the largest Shiite mosque in Kandahar. The United Nations Assistance Mission in Afghanistan said that the perpetrators of the attack need to be held responsible. The President of the UN General Assembly, Abdullah Shahid, also strongly condemned the attack. The UNGA President expressed his profound condolences to the families of the victims and wished them speedy recovery. The killing of Conservative MP Sir David Amess has been declared a terrorist incident by police. Sir David was stabbed multiple times at a constituency surgery in Leigh-on-Sea in Essex on Friday. The Metropolitan Police said that there is no potential motivation linked to Islamist extremism. The 25-year-old British man was arrested at the scene on suspicion of murder, and police said that they were not seeking anyone else over the death. As part of the investigation, officers are currently carrying out searches at 2 addresses in London. The force believes the man acted alone, but inquiries into the circumstances of the incident are continuing. Sir David, who represented South and West, was holding a constituency surgery where voters can meet their MP and discuss concerns at Belfair's Methodist Church on Friday when he was attacked. Meanwhile, a church service was held for murdered lawmaker David Amess on Friday after he was stabbed in the church by an assailant. Also, during the service in St. Peter's Catholic Church in Southend Parish, the priest led prayers for Amess and the local community. The Union flags outside UK Parliament and above Prime Minister Boris Johnson's home in Downing Street were lowered to half-mast as a mark of respect to Sir David Amess. Also, colleagues from across Parliament expressed their shock and paid tributes to him, one of Britain's longest-serving lawmakers who was elected first in 1983. Up next, a quick look at the global COVID figures. When we talk of the figures, the virus has so far infected more than 24 crore 8 lakh people, while the number of recoveries stands above 21 crore 80 lakh globally. COVID-19 has claimed over 49 lakh 4,000 lives worldwide. The US continues to remain the worst affected nation with the disease, with total cases crossing 4 crore 57 lakh and fatalities reaching above 7 lakh 43,000. In Peru, health workers received the booster shot of COVID vaccine as part of an effort to prevent the possible risk of a spike in infections. The first group of health workers to receive booster shots are those working directly with COVID patients in emergency rooms or ICUs. Also, Peru's health minister said that although 2 doses have proven effective in reducing deaths, a third jab will provide added protection to the health workers. Health personnel will receive a third dose of Pfizer vaccine, with supplies arriving weekly to the South American country. Peru has over 2,18,73,000 cases of COVID-19, with more than 1,99,000 lives lost so far. In Brazil, the second worst affected country from COVID in terms of death toll, around 600 white flags were put up outside the country's Congress to protest against 6 lakh lives lost to the disease. Volunteers put up the flags with the names of victims written on them. Critics of the government say that COVID-19 deaths could have been prevented if the pandemic was better handled. Brazil is one of the worst affected countries with COVID-19 after the US. Brazil has over 2,16,27,000 cases of the disease. Also, COVID-19 has claimed 6,02,600 lives in the country. A high-level panel of outside advisor to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration voted unanimously to recommend regulators authorize a second shot of Johnson & Johnson's COVID vaccine to those who have already received the first dose. The FDA's Vaccines and Related Biological Products Advisory Committee backed the shots for all Johnson & Johnson's recipients aged 18 and older at least 2 months after their first dose to further boost immunity. However, the FDA is not bound to follow the advisory panel recommendations. Once the FDA signs off on the second dose, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention will make scientific recommendations on who should get the shots. The CDC advisors are scheduled to meet to discuss the boosters next week. In Spain, drone footage showed Pampore volcano throwing massive streams of lava in the island of La Palma. The streams of lava have destroyed 600 acres of land and 1,600 buildings in the area, engulfing plantations and greenhouses. The eruption has forced evacuation of around 6,000 people in the island of about 83,000 inhabitants. Meanwhile, Spanish authorities say that they were expecting the lava flow to keep spreading from the volcano. The eruption that has entered its 4th week has also devoured banana and avocado plantations vital to the island's economy. World Food Day is celebrated all over the world on October 16. It is an initiative by Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. This global event marks a day calling for worldwide awareness and collective action to combat the issue of hunger and ensure healthy diets for all. This year, the World Food Day commemorations will be jointly led by FAO, UNHCR, UN Refugee Agency and the World Food Programme. Events will be organized in 150 countries across the globe with multiple partners and governments. The theme this year is Safe Food Now for a Healthy Tomorrow. This year, the emphasis of World Food Day is on celebrating food heroes or individuals who have contributed towards building a sustainable world where no one has to go hungry. The idea is to contribute to the idea of building a hunger-free world. Also, World Food Day was established in November 1979 as suggested by former Hungarian Minister of Agriculture and Food, Dr. Paul Romani. It gradually became a way to raise awareness about hunger, malnutrition, sustainability and food production. Let's get to business news now. The U.S. stocks ended higher on Friday after Goldman Sachs became the latest big bank to report strong quarterly earnings, and Wall Street's 3 major indices posted gains for the week. Goldman Sachs Group shares jumped, giving the Dow its biggest boost as a record wave of deal-making activity drove a surge in the bank's quarterly profit. Other big lenders also rose and were among the biggest positives for S&P 500. The index, that is SPXPK, ended sharply higher. The Hollywood Foreign Press Association is moving forward with plans to present the 79th Annual Golden Globe Awards on January 9th. The association on Friday unveiled the traditional calendar with submissions deadlines in various categories. Nominations will be revealed on December 13th. The deadline for movie and television submission entry forms is November 15th. Announcements of nominations for the 79th Annual Golden Awards will be held on December 13th. Let's talk about sports now. In cricket, Chennai Super Kings beat Kolkata Knight Riders by 27 runs to win its fourth IPL title in Dubai last night. Put into bat first, Chennai posted a massive total of 192 for the loss of 3 wickets in the stipulated 20 overs, riding on Faf du Plessis' 86 over 59 and Moeen Ali's unbeaten 37 of 20 balls. For Kolkata, Sunil Narine capped 2 wickets. In reply, Kolkata Knight Riders could score only 165 runs for 9 wickets in 20 overs, with help of Shubman Gill's 51 of 43 and Venkatesh Iyer's 50 of 32 balls. For Chennai, Shardul Thakur picked up 3 wickets while Josh Hazlewood and Ravindra Jadeja took 2 wickets apiece. Faf du Plessis wins Man of the Match award for smashing a knock of 86 in 59 balls. For Chennai, Ruturaj Gaikwad, who scored 32 of 27 deliveries in the final clash, has won the orange cap for scoring highest runs with 635 runs from 16 matches in this edition of IPL. Also, du Plessis finished the campaign as the second highest run scorer of the season with 633 of 16 games. The purple cap went to RCB's Harshal Patel, who has registered 32 wickets in 15 games in this season. With this, MS Dhoni-led Chennai lifted the IPL trophy for the 4th time, having previously won the tournament in 2010, 2011 and 2018. In football, 7 times champions, India will take on Nepal in the final of the South Asian Football Federation Championship in Maldives today. India on Wednesday defeated Maldives 3-1 to book their spot in the summit clash. The final will be the 12th for India in 13 editions, which shows the domination of the Blue Tigers in this regional tournament. A win against Nepal will also be head coach Stimac's first trophy after taking charge of the Indian team in 2019. India remained undefeated in this edition, having earlier played out draws with Bangladesh and Sri Lanka and then beating Nepal. Nepal, ranked 61 places below India at 168th, have shown that there are no pushovers in this tournament, and it needed a late goal in the 82nd minute from Chetri for India to beat them in the round-robin match. They have beaten Maldives while drawing with Bangladesh. India will, however, have the psychological advantage over the Himalayan country, as historical or recent statistics will show that Stimac's side is the clear favourites to lift the title yet again. But Subhashish Bose, who is described the best performer along with Rahul Bheke among the seniors, will be Chetri. He will be missed in the final after a red card against Maldives. The match will start at 8:30 p.m. tonight. That's it in this edition of the News Sasa. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Namaste land.
مرحبا إلى الهند.